Hi guys, it's Adria. Hi guys, it's Adria, and this video is going to be about the fact that tampons are scary. And if you're like,
what are you talking about? Tampons aren't scary.
Then you can just go ahead and leave, because all my homegirls out there, they're going to know what I'm talking about, okay? I remember first starting my period and thinking that tampons were like the scariest idea ever. Even before my period, like just learning about them, I'm just like, why would I ever want to use something like that? Why would I want to stick something in there? Why would I want something to be floating around in there? The only thing I can use to take it out is a little string. And honey, the thoughts of that string breaking were the scariest thoughts ever. I was like, I'm never gonna use tampons ever. And I got my period at like 15, and I didn't use tampons until I was 20, I think. Or maybe I was 19. I don't know, 19 or 20. I think I was 20. I was way too scared. And TMI, but it's just like I had no clue where to even stick that thing. I was like, where does it even go? Like, I don't even know, like, which crevice it goes in. And yeah, if you're a girl, you'll understand. If you're a guy, you'll be like, what? But no, like, seriously, the lady part is the most confusing thing ever. It is literally like a friggin' maze. Like, you have to find your way through there because it makes no sense. So the first tampons I ever tried were the U by Kotex, and they are still what I use to this day. They're colorful and fun and nice. Here's what it looks like. You just tear it open right here, take it out. After you have used it, the applicator goes back into this thing. I can't tell you how many times, because I work in a restaurant, I have seen these applicators just bloody, just in the trash can, and I'm just like, that is not okay, sweetheart. Like, use discretion on your period, please, okay? So, just pretend this is like your little lady part, and it's bleeding and stuff, okay? So, I'll do this so you can see it better, okay? Now, your body's slanted. Your lady parts are slanted, so you're gonna wanna do it like this, and you're gonna wanna stick it up like that. It's kind of hard to do it while you're like sitting on the toilet. You kind of have to like squat kind of like over the toilet-ish, or maybe like 1 foot up on the toilet. I don't know. You kind of get your own system, but whatever you do, do not kind of push this thing out before you stick it inside you, because I did this once, and then these little pokey things kind of stabbed at me, and let's just say that was not pleasant at all. So, yeah, back to this thing again, okay? Sideways, find it in there, get it good up until the little rubber thing, okay? That's where it should stop. And then you just push that part like that, and it will go up in there. Oh, it won't fall down because your uterus thing is right there. So it'll be floating like right there, like, hey. And then you just pull that part out and put it like this. Put it back in the wrapper like this, throw it away. You know, I don't really like seeing bloody applicators in the trash. I think that's just disgusting. Like, if you're gonna bag up your trash later, like, that's one thing, but when there's like people around, it's just like. But yeah, this is what the little tampon looks like. As you can see, it's not very puffy at all. This string, try and break this, sweetheart. It's not gonna break. Like, I'm pulling this, and this thing is industrial. Like, Rocky Balboa couldn't break this string. Maybe Rocky 4 might be able to break this. Rocky 1, definitely not. And I've actually never tried to pull on one of these strings before. I never really tried it. Yeah, look, it's kind of like a 2-string type thing, so it's really up in there. what is even happening here? First time I ever used a tampon, I did not keep it in long enough. I was so scared and I was so like anxious and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's in there, like I need to get it out. I only had it in for an hour and that hurt taking it out. So you really want to leave this thing in for about at least 3 hours, I would say. They can really stay in for like up to 6 to 8 hours. It depends on how like heavy your flow is. If it's heavier, you're probably gonna want to change it sooner. On my heavier days, I have to change it like every like 3-4 hours. It gets too ridiculous. Young girls are often like, well, does it hurt to put in a tampon? Does it hurt to take it out? It doesn't, no. And once you've done it a few times, you're just like, whatever, you don't even really think about it. Taking it out will hurt if it's not wet, like if it's not soaked with blood. So obviously if you put in a tampon while you're not on your period, yeah, like that would hurt because there's nothing in there. There's no like wetness in there. So, ooh, look at what I did to it. I kind of like pulled it apart. Tampons over pads any day. Once you've used tampons, it's just like you can't go back. They were invented for a reason. What else about tampons? I remember being a young girl and thinking that they were like the scariest thing ever. But once you get over the initial like, oh, I'm sticking something in there, like it's not scary anymore. Because, you know, you kind of just know your body, you know how it works, you know where it goes, and you know how long to keep it in for. It kind of just becomes nature to you. You know? But yeah, highly recommend these U by Kotex. If you're a beginner, they are great. Also, these are the super. If you're just starting, I wouldn't really get the super. I'd start with the lowest amount of absorbency. I would start with the lowest amount of absorbency that you can find and kind of like work your way up, and then, you know, you kind of figure out which one works best for you. Mine are super because I am like friggin', I'm like like the Hoover Dam or something like that. Like I need something, girl. I tried not to psych myself out when first starting with tampons. I didn't like look up like horror stories of like a tampon like getting stuck or like this getting lost up in there or getting like the string broken. Like I'm just like, I can't do it. I've never even done that now because I feel like if you do that, then you'll never try it. You know, it's like that with everything. You know, if you look up the horror stories, like say you wanted to go skydiving, and then you looked up horrible skydiving accidents and people dying, like you'd never want to do it after that. So I mean, why psych yourself out? You know, just throw yourself into it, just do it and see what happens. I can't really think of a time where tampons ever weren't a good thing. In my period horror stories, everybody's like, well, were you wearing a pad? Were you wearing a tampon? I was wearing a pad, yes. I was wearing just these I don't even think they make them anymore because this was like 8 years ago, I think. No, how long ago? It feels like 8 years ago. I don't even think they make those kind of pads anymore, and if they do, they've definitely upped their ante because those things did not work. And yeah, I was wearing a pad. I've always just kind of had a heavier period and it just kind of like overflowed and just out the sides, if that makes sense. Tampons you will most likely never have an accident with. I've never had a stain on my pants when wearing a tampon. I've never had anything embarrassing happening. So all my period horror stories were pad induced. So if you're very paranoid about spots on your pants, leaks, anything, tampons are the way to go. They're just, I can't even. Yeah, there's lots of videos on YouTube how to insert tampons, how they work and stuff like that. And then just like weird demonstrations, like sticking them into water bottles with like red food coloring in them. And I'm just like, what? I get to that weird part of YouTube. I used to be absolutely terrified of tampons and I swore on my life I would never use them, but never going back. I guess that's it for this. Long story short, tampons are not scary. They really aren't, and let me know if you guys are young and haven't tried tampons yet, you know, what your fears are about them. Mine was just it, like, getting lost, or the string breaking, or, oh, all those things about toxic shock syndrome that I saw, like, because I remember when I was younger, I would see my mom's tampons under the sink, and just, like, out of curiosity, I, like, took the little slip out of it of how to use them, and I, like, kind of read it, and I was just like, I remember seeing something about toxic shock syndrome in it, and I was just like, what? What is this? And it just freaked me out. I was like, no, honey, I can't do this. But yeah, I guess that's it for this tampon video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Anything else period related you'd like me to talk about, leave it in the comments below. And I will see you guys again real soon. Until then, panda hugs. I love you guys. Bye! It's gonna rain. I'm doing like a rain dance. It's like literally like about to downpour. Ah! Now my camera's crooked. Bye.